Ricard. Good luck to you, Chef.
You as well, Chef. Nice to have you here.
Let's have a little fun today.
Hi, happy Halloween. Hopefully today will be more of a treat than a trick. We are certainly excited to have you for this evening. Sorry, John. Yeah, I have a scary chef issue. Sitting with me is Chef John Karchi, our Austrian pastry chef. We'll be doing a great Austrian dish, different than the German version, Apfelstrudel mit Schlag, which is apple strudel with whipped cream. And I think Chef John's the Schlagmeister. He's
I'm going to do your
Schlag, the whipped cream. But most importantly, we want a great treat today for you. Should be the fact that you have great high definition visual and that the sound is more of a treat than a trick. So we appreciate your patience having new software assistant in play today. I think you're going to like what you see. Right, Chef John?
You betcha. Like I'm ready.
If not, you'll enjoy a great virtual dessert apple strudel. Now, I was looking at recipes the last few years, and I went to a store and they have apple strudel. But what do they make the normal apple strudel? What kind of dough is that?
Well, it's a phyllo dough, right?
It's a phyllo dough.
Right.
Okay.
And then that's where you would see in a Greek restaurant or whatever. But those are pre-made items, and actually we brought one. But today, our whole thing is we're going to make our fresh.
All right, so making fresh strudel dough.
This is a treat because not too many people, and thank goodness I got you here with me, Chef Mark, because it is a two-person operation, I think.
All right, so what's nice about that, we're going to have the family members help us, and you're going to see when we make the dough how exciting this really is to have someone, to cook with someone, right?
Yes.
What a concept. Instead of everyone just having to microwave a nice dessert. We're first going to measure off 4 cups of flour. And as you perhaps remember from last time, we said that the flour should be loose and that you should be careful to pour it on top of the cup like that.
Right.
Not compact it, tap it, and then very straight away, that's a cup measure. So we'll need 4 of those.
And the flour today, what type of flour are we using?
That's a good observation, Chef John. We're using bread flour because this recipe wouldn't work with all-purpose flour. Not enough protein in it.
Right, right.
Bread flour really has lots of protein, and the reason why that is that we need all that heavy protein, 9 or 10% in the flour, to give us this structure for this dough.
Sure.
So it can encase the filling.
Sure.
So we have our 4 cups of
sifted. We sifted
yes,
it
we
earlier.
sifted it earlier. That's a good point. You're right.
Yeah.
We're going to have about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt.
Okay. Salt. Yeah.
Teaspoon of salt. I think the salt just kind of toughens the protein a little bit. I'm going to put a dough hook in. Make sure it's secure. You wanted to say something there, Chef John?
Well, the whole thing about this dough too is you just can't make this and then pretend you're going to roll it out. It takes its time. You have to be gentle with it. We're gonna.
I'm listening. Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
We're going to be gentle with the dough, right?
You're gonna be gentle with the dough. It's not a bread dough. It is a non-yeast dough, which I think is very important. And it's lukewarm water. Very important.
Right, lukewarm water. This is to make this dough very elastic.
Right.
And that's the reason why we put lukewarm water. It's almost warm, not on the hot side, but
right.
it's almost very warm. And I'm going to turn it up to speed a little bit and let that go. And then Chef John, I'm going to turn it off, and he's going to scrape down the sides. We like to work in a team because he has the great touch. He has the great pastry chef touch. So good. Now that we just scraped down the bowl, we'll put it back up. And we have 4 cups of flour. I have a pint of lukewarm to hot water.
Right.
And I'm going to let this whale on there for a little bit. And many times I push a little forward just to help the bowl. Yep.
Right.
Get the bowl to get all the nice ingredients at the bottom. So you do need a dough hook, Chef John.
You do need a dough hook.
So now it's incorporating.
And you want to see it come off the sides of the wall.
Right, right. This is a very elastic dough. Let's add some more water, Chef John. Here's the container.
I will get you more water.
Some more warm water. You have a question? Go ahead, Dennis.
4 cups.
We have 4 cups of bread flour, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and a pint or a pint and a quarter, depending, of warm to hot water. So I'm going to show the texture of this dough in a few minutes, and then we're going to let it rest for half an hour. But
Normally you let it rest a half an hour in a nice warm place with some saran wrap on it, or
cover it over it.
Yep.
So we're going to put this in a warm place to rest, and then we're going to let it sit for half an hour. But of course, since our show is under an hour,
Right.
we've already made this dough before. So
Sure.
we want to show you that texture. So let's scrape it down one more time, Chef John.
Okay.
So it's very elastic, it's very sticky.
And that's what you want. You want to see it.
Nice.
Very nice. Okay.
All right, maybe I'll give you a little bit more flour. And as you'll find out, certain times of the year, flour can be water-loving, hydrophilic, and in the winter, it's less heavy because there's no moisture in the air. So you may need more flour in the summertime or a humid environment. You may need less flour because flour is very, very hydrophilic. It absorbs the moisture.
Right.
So that's mindful of that when you go to make this dough. So we add some more flour. And we're really letting that work itself into a sticky paste. Let's do one more scrape down.
Okay.
Pull it off the
hook here.
pull it off the hook. We're going to scrape underneath the dough hook. Be sure it reaches all the way down to the bottom. I like that texture. See that texture? That's the texture we want.
Because you want that. You want to see that.
See how sticky that is? Yeah.
But now it has to rest, doesn't it?
Has to rest.
Okay.
So we're going to say this was in the machine for 10 minutes.
Right.
I'm going to give it just another minute, and then we're going to imagine that we had this on for 10 minutes.
Got it.
Then here, right here, there's a little water for you. Wash your hands right in there. All right, so now this is the texture of the dough that we're going to want you to have in your kitchen mixer. See that? So it's very elastic, and it would sit 10 minutes. I'm going to have Chef John
Right.
put that over there while I get the dough we made earlier. Question coming in, Dennis?
Why don't opposed to a beater attack?
Sure, the question was why would we use a dough hook as opposed to the paddle?
Number one, it's going to.
Yeah, the dough hook allows us to knead the dough.
Right.
The question was why do we use the dough hook instead of the paddle? The paddle is for pound cake or genoise,
Right.
or for a chocolate cake mixture, a carrot cake mixture. The paddle breaks up.
It does break it up. In this one here, you want it to come to that ball texture, and it's still bread dough, basically. We can now take this and knead it, just like you would a loaf of bread or something like that. You can do that.
I
okay?
see. So because the paddle that would break up
It would break it up.
and wouldn't start the kneading process that the dough hook allows. Isn't that
Right.
great? So
So even now, we would take this, which is what Chef Mark did, transfer it to another bowl, and we put it in a nice warm place.
right. What I did was put some oil in the bowl or in this plate and let the dough rest half an hour. Little oil in the bowl, in the bowl or the plate. I lightly oiled the dough. This kneaded for 10 minutes, and let it rest for 30 minutes, as Chef
Right.
John said. Now we're going to go over to the table and pull the dough out. This is very different. We're now going to go to the table and pull the dough out.
We're going to do that now? Okay, great.
Because the difference between the Viennese apple strudel and the regular German apple strudel is that the Viennese apple strudel is pulled. So this is a Viennese specialty. They actually, here, do I need some flour down there? The Viennese pull their dough. It's really a very exciting thing to do.
Another question, please.
Another question, you bet, Dennis.
What kind of oil would you use?
We used basic salad oil
Just
for
a simple,
that.
yes, simple oil.
Now
right?
with this, lots of flour in the center. This cloth.
What is this cloth here?
Well, we only use, this is my mother-in-law, she had it about 20 or 30 years. she only uses this, or didn't only use this for making pasta dough.
Correct.
Are
Right.
you saying your grandmother used to make this recipe
The exact
in
same way.
Austria?
She would take this, her famous cloth, and put it on the kitchen table. We had a round table, so she had a round tablecloth, and that. Now, this is very important here. Just putting this down here, you have to have enough flour on this cloth. It's very important. And then Chef Mark here, he said you got to hit it once in a while.
Right,
okay?
right, get the air out.
You got to get the air out of it. Okay.
So we're going to dust our hands
Yes.
of the flour. And Chef John said his grandma used to make this as well. We're spreading this dough out. And we need some flour up on our arms, just like a baker. We look like we're busy that way, lots of flour
Well,
on our arms.
and actually, you do. You want to roll up your sleeves on this one here.
Right.
It's,
Right. We put lots of flour in the center, more on the tablecloth.
for those folks out there that like jewelry or whatever, take your jewelry off.
Important.
Very important. Okay. Even myself, I'm going to turn my ring around here so that when we get to go underneath, this is a great technique, and I'm still learning from Chef Mark.
No, you're very modest saying that.
It's been a couple weeks since I made this the last time. Okay.
So what we're doing now is slowly pulling that dough and bread flour. We're going to go from one end to the other, but Chef
Correct.
John and I are going to do the diagonal. So we're going to do a little bit of pulling, not too high, John, too high, just about 4 inches in height. Good. We're going to start anchoring. We're going to anchor one side then the other.
Correct.
But with this dough, since it's bread flour, it has lots of protein. It has gluten and gliadin. And that, again, we're going that way and this way. So nothing to the side, diagonal only. So with these little pieces, we can pull them, but just enough so that Chef John can anchor down there and myself. Can you believe that? No tears yet, but we're
I'm
not
working on
going
it.
to
I'm
say
working on it,
anything.
okay?
All right, now that we have that, don't pull there. Let's do this now.
Which way you want to go?
Yours, you're doing yours, I'm pulling mine. Okay? See this? That's it.
Uh-oh, Mark.
All right?
What, you saw that hole?
You're doing good. We're coming over here now. Go ahead, Dennis.
The question is, unlike a yeast dough, this one at rest will not rise, correct?
That's right. This is a non-yeast dough. This is a high gluten dough, and that's why it has this elasticity, because we're able to stretch it. There's no yeast, so there's no resting or proofing. So I'm going to go back in here again. I'm going to pull down. I'm going to anchor one end. Go ahead.
And if you do get a hole like I did, and Chef Mark's covering up for me here, it's okay, because we're going to put our filling here, and this is going to be rolled at least 7 or 8 times before after we put our filling in here. You won't see that.
Do you need 2 people to make this work?
Well, you can see I'm.
No, you need Chef Mark and myself to do it.
The question is, do we need 2 people to make this work? I guess you should. Chef John's done it by himself. I've done it by myself. So,
And the key is, because Mark does want to get it anchored at the end here. Very, very important. Very important.
but it's the family thing. You want to have your family members.
Oh, yeah.
You want to have some fun for the fall season. What a better way than to have something like
I don't
that?
know if you can see here how thin this is.
Oh, it's really spectacular. I have some more dough here,
Okay.
and then I'm going to work. I'm going to pull more of that, stretching it out. Now, see, I had my nails done. I took my nails off, my
manicure.
scary nails,
Right.
because I know I would puncture it. All right, so
Very
the
nice,
last few
Chef. Very
pieces,
And we're going to let this set for a second? Is that
I'm
what
going
we're
to pull
going to
down here. I'm going to anchor it.
Okay.
I'm going to pull this down like so. All right, Chef John, now it's the time for the filling. So Chef John,
Okay.
Chef
Well,
John
we're
does the
gonna mix the
finally
filling.
touches.
Okay.
We're going to make our filling. So what we
Correct.
have today,
What we got today? We
have
got some chopped walnuts.
Walnuts,
Okay.
2 cups of chopped walnuts.
We also got some cinnamon. And if you want to use a fresh stick of cinnamon, you can use that
Oh, to grate it. Nice.
to grate it. Today we have raisins. You can use yellow raisins or dark raisins. And you can also marinate these a little bit. If you would like to take some rum, it soaks it up a little bit, gives it a real nice flavor. And you can use any rum that you want. I mean, doesn't have to be Austrian rum, but we happen to
Sure,
have Austrian
sure,
rum today.
sure.
It just gives it a whole nice flavor and nice
It smells
texture.
great, Chef
You
John.
know?
I'm going to pulse these hazelnuts.
Go ahead and toast the hazelnuts. Yes.
Well, you're going to see right now, the question was,
The holes in the dough.
what about the holes in the dough? Well, that's immaterial because we're going to roll it up.
Right. Now we also need some sugar. Did we put sugar in?
And some sugar
Okay.
based on the sweetness of the apples.
And again, the apples that we're using today, these are Granny Smith apples, aren't they?
Granny
Yeah.
Smith apples.
Right. And the reason for that is they have a good texture and there's a little bit of tartness to them. Very important.
Yeah, the Granny Smith or Pippin are nice for that taste, that John, to see if it has any,
Well-
taste it to see if it's sweet enough.
I'm going to say we need a little bit more sugar.
All right, go ahead, put some right in there. We like to measure this recipe, don't we? We measure
Oh.
it. We actually have,
We do have, and
we have the recipe, we
have a
put it
recipe.
online
We put it
yesterday,
online, right?
so it's there.
The reason why we're doing this here at the last minute, and I can show you, we did this one about 2 hours ago.
Right.
There's a lot of moisture in here, and we want to avoid that moisture because this dough is so fine and so thin. You want to do this at the last minute. Very important.
Another question, Chef.
Yep.
So there isn't a specific amount of filling items just contained?
The question is, are there specific amounts of filling?
Bless you, my son.
There's a specific amount of filling
Right.
for the recipe. The question is there a specific amount of filling for the recipe? Yes, we posted it yesterday. I sent it to our IT guys. It's up there. It's 7 pounds of apples. The recipe, as you saw, is 4 cups of bread flour, 1/8 teaspoon of salt, and 1 1/4 pint of warm to hot water. We on the dough hook for 10 minutes. I give them the official Viennese special dispensation with our little sprinkler here. We made the dough, cooks it on the machine for 10 minutes. It rests for 30 minutes. We pull it out.
Right.
7
We
pounds of
added
apples,
Some toasted white breadcrumbs.
toasted white breadcrumbs,
Viennese bread.
Vienna bread.
Vienna
We toasted
bread.
Vienna bread.
Yep.
7 pounds of apples,
Now, Chef,
sir. Cup of raisins.
a couple of raisins. We're going this way, right?
We're rolling towards the camera,
So
right?
we're going to make 2 of them today, right?
You want to make 2 or 3?
You know,
let's
if,
make
you, if you
3.
do 3, let's do 3.
All right.
Leave a little gap here in the middle,
Oh, all right.
and then do another one over here. This way, when we roll it, we're going to cut these off into three strudels.
I see.
You could do the whole one if you wanted to, but then you have to have a large sheet pan and a very large oven to do that. Right?
Okay, right. We want to do
We wanna
on
do
a half
3
a cookie
today.
pan. We don't want to do a food
And
service.
we got enough. I think we got enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't want to do a food service size. You want to do it so that you can replicate this at home. So that's why we have 3 separate, one for the chef, one for the neighbor, and one for, I guess, someone
One
else.
for Dennis, right?
One for everyone, and give the other one too.
There we go.
So we have 7. I'm going to wash my hands, Chef John.
yes, yes, we are.
7. I have 7 cups, 7 pounds of apples, about a cup of sugar. It's 2 cups of assorted nuts. We have walnuts and hazelnuts, a cup of raisins. You can put in some almond paste if you want. We added some earlier. We also put cinnamon and a little pinch of clove. Just a few pinches of clove in there. I think it might need a little more cinnamon. I'm going to sprinkle just a little more in.
There we go.
There's no traditional cinnamon that you buy in the store. With the breadcrumbs in there.
Breadcrumbs are in there.
So Chef John, we're ready to roll, I guess, huh?
This is where you need the 2 hands.
Right.
Okay.
So we lift up and we roll forward. Pull back.
And let's show them what we got.
That's
Okay.
it. Roll forward. Nice to have 3 of them. Rolling forward. Rolling forward. Nice.
And we're curling our
All right.
our tablecloth
Pull
again.
the table back this way.
We go back.
Roll it some more. Roll it some more yet. Grab the tablecloth and then right on the seam, right, Chef John?
Yes.
Right
you,
on
want,
the
you want the seam side down. And it doesn't matter on the end here. You can either cut it off or you can curl it underneath.
All right.
It might be a little doughier there, but you know, it keeps all the ingredients
I'll
in.
tuck it underneath.
We're gonna tuck it underneath. I'm gonna
So we have an actual space there, huh?
we have an actual space, so we can either cut it now,
All right, I'll get a knife
get a knife, and I'll get the pans for us.
right underneath.
They're right underneath. There we go.
So we have 3 nice sections
Correct.
of this. So 1, 2, 3, and then we'll hold it and hold that for me
I'll hold
right
it
here.
for you. I'll hold it.
Right there.
You transfer.
Now we rolled it before onto.
You
we
can
we
roll
used
it right.
the tablecloth to roll it on. So
Correct. Correct.
I must hold it gingerly. I'm going to put it right there. That's one.
And then we're gonna
Put
take
that,
it
Put that underneath for now.
and tuck it underneath.
Oh,
Just a second.
good.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Then we'll put this one underneath as well. Here's our second one. You want to tuck the sides in there, Chef?
Yes, I do.
Good.
It's almost like a crimp, like you do a apple pie or
I'll
whatever.
tuck them underneath. Have a lot of dough on this side, so I'll cut some of that off.
Okay, there you go. And it's okay if some comes out. I mean, it's not gonna hurt
We'll
anything.
fold it underneath. This says extra dough. I tucked it underneath. All right,
Ready?
that looks nice. Hold the tray right
I'll
there.
hold the tray right
we
there.
back it up.
You can also use a long spatula if you had it.
All right. Chef John's going to fix that one. Then our final one.
And we got one more. You know what? We can show them how to just roll it
All
right.
right. So let's. What we did before, we made the large one. We lifted it up.
Ready?
We bring it on top, and then we rolled it over. That's what we did. We made a real large one earlier. So there's that one.
Right.
Looking nice. Let's tuck this back underneath. We'll get our melted butter to brush on top. And I'll butter these while Chef John gets his whipped cream ready
Uh-oh. That's right. I need my whipped cream.
to
don't I?
serve. So Chef John will get his whipped cream ready.
I will do that. And just
and-
move this over to the side.
I
Now,
have
Chef,
the oven on-
how long are we going to put this in the oven
Good,
for?
just going to say that. Good observation there, Chef. 375 degrees for 50 minutes, 50.
Right.
So
Depending on the amount of filling that you have, you may want to leave it in there for a few extra minutes.
that's a good point. The internal temperature should be 225, 230 degrees.
Right.
So Chef John gets to get his whipped cream out of the fridge there and his bowl.
Yes. Yes.
We're going to put this into the oven at 375, some nice butter. Melted butter all over. And I'm going to put these right into our oven. So I'm going to have Chef John come right up here for his whipped cream.
I could do that.
And he's going to start it. And I'll bring the mixer over for you.
We're just using heavy whipping cream today. Nothing special. Nice cold bowl. And this is the fun part where we get to whip for about 5 to 10 minutes.
I did have one question. They want to know where the recipe is posted.
Oh, the recipe is always posted on the, it goes under, oh, they're in the archives. Oh, they will be in the archives? We sent them yesterday. They will be in the archives. So they may not be up there yet, but I sent them yesterday. So they'll be in the archive, webcast archives. That's where the recipes will be.
Could I make it with rhubarb instead of apples?
Well,
So the question is, can you make this apple strudel with rhubarb instead of apples? What do you think, Chef John?
you know, when Chef Mark and I were talking about this earlier. Depending on the season, you can make it with rhubarbs. Absolutely, absolutely, you can make it with rhubarbs.
So
Rhubarbs
they-
has the same flavor as the apples do. You just want to adjust your sugar content if you want to. You can just throw a little vanilla in there. I know, Chef Mark likes seeing me do this. You know,
You have to whip and talk at the same time.
Whip
That's
and
what
talk
I'm
at the same time. You wanna,
Whip
wanna-
some too?
whip
All right.
some-
Another contest.
All right, contest.
Well, we have the bowl.
But you know, but also, you know, Chef Mark, it depends on the season. If this was June or July, you may want to use cherries and do a cherry strudel. If it's in the middle of winter and you don't have any fruit ready, well, then you can use some sort of an almond paste, and we're doing good. We're doing good.
So almond paste, would you have to cook? Would you have to cook the rhubarb first, Chef John?
Yes.
You would.
Just
so,
a touch. You know,
so they should peel it,
Peel
cut
it.
it into pieces.
Exactly.
Maybe cook with a little water and sugar, and maybe
Yeah,
drain
okay.
it a little bit.
Right.
Drain it first, and then use it for filling.
Right.
Yes, Dennis, question coming in. Does Chef John, does light cream whip up as well as
No, it
whipped cream?
doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, light cream is only good like for
Right.
coffee.
Sure, sure.
Or pour it over. There's not enough butter fat in light cream
Exactly.
for the fat molecules to whip up and stay solid.
And the schlag too, if you don't have the time to make it, you get yourself a little vanilla ice cream and make it nice and soft, and just, you know, pour a little of that on
Oh,
top
that'd
of
be
it,
very
too.
nice.
You know, a little-
And you don't have to use, well, they sell, I don't think there's a soy whipped cream yet. There's a soy cream cheese.
Yes, yes.
I've seen that. There's soy cheese, soy
Sure,
queso.
sure.
There's soy milk. I don't think there's a soy whipped cream yet, but what if there's a soy half and half? I wonder if I've seen that, because I don't know if soy will whip up either, because there's no fat in soy.
Right, right.
We need to have. We're doing this so that our we're doing this so that our strudel will cook in the oven while we're talking and whipping.
No, you keep whipping there, okay, Chef?
All right, Dennis, another question you said there. Yeah, the question was, when making a whipped cream, does the chilled bowl help? Yes, Chef John had his, I'm just cleaning her up. Chef John had his bowl in the refrigerator. You can see how quickly
But look how, you know,
his whisked up. So yeah, chilled bowl
this
is
is my
important.
senior citizen discount here, okay?
Chilled bowl is very important for whipping up. The bowl and the whisk should both be in the freezer. So we want stiff peaks, is that what we want?
Yes, and look, I think Mark, I think you're beating the electric machine here.
Well, I started earlier. All right, just a little stiffer, and we almost have the nice whipped cream. So do we want to season this?
You know-
Chef, what do you want to put in there?
I like to put a little cinnamon sugar or a little vanilla.
All
I
right,
think we should put a little sugar in there.
a little sugar in yours as well.
Yep. And also a touch of vanilla just for flavor. We just
None
add the vanilla.
handy.
None handy, okay, but normally that's something you can do.
All right, so I have that. That's looking good. We're going to use the nice whipped cream
There
that
we go.
Chef John makes in a nice bowl.
Yep.
So the question
Like
was,
this, yep.
the question was, they want you to show them how you held the whisk. So yeah, so he did it in a motion away from him.
Right. And the important part is what's comfortable in your hand. Number one, I think. You know.
Yeah, I think a few things to look at when you're whisking that. We held the whisk like that so that we were able to get a good beat. And with this one as well, this one is too flexible. It moves, and you're not able to hold it properly.
So you like the bigger bowl,
Actually, the bigger handle.
bigger handle.
This is fine for beating eggs, but it doesn't allow me to manipulate it like this large handle does. So there, for your senior citizen discount there, Chef John.
Thank you, Chef.
All right, so we have that. We're going to put the nice whipped cream in that bowl. The nice schlag. we'd like to bring over now our little setup.
I think
We're
we
gonna
have
have Chef
everything there,
John
right?
take
We're
this.
gonna take that one, put it on there. Before I do that, I'll do a little powdered sugar just to finish her off.
Let's bring this right to our display table.
Right to the
Push that
display
to the
table.
side.
Okay. And we're going to take a couple slices and put it on our plates here.
So as it came out of the oven, it had a beautiful color, nice and crispy. We had it set. We had the palette knife right here to use.
I'm going to just go right to the plate there like that.
Looks great.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Again,
Schlag there.
little,
Powdered sugar.
little powdered sugar.
There's your palette knife. Beautiful.
A little schlag.
That's nice.
Um,
And I know, Chef John, you made a few apple slices for garnish.
just a couple, just to give it a little color.
That's
on the
beautiful.
plate.
A little cinnamon on top.
A little cinnamon on top. Where have we got
It's
the
on top. I got it on there already.
Oh, look at
Fast.
you.
Come on,
Chef,
come on over here.
thank you.
Nice job there, Chef John.
Great job.
We want to thank you for being with us today. Hopefully the sound was good. We appreciate you being with us as we made the Viennese pulled apple strudel. Something you can do very easily at home. Invite the family. It's a nice thing to do for the holidays. When people come to your home and say, can we help? You go, yes, you can wash the dishes. But usually they disappear.
Sure.
And more importantly, we say, yeah, you can help us make a nice apple strudel. It's fun for the kids to do, and they get the flour, and it makes the kitchen's a big mess. But that's okay. We need someone to clean up, right?
And you know, usually this apple strudel there's no leftovers. It's eaten
Oh,
that day.
yeah.
You know, this is something you don't throw in the refrigerator or in the freezer and microwave it the next day.
It's best the same day.
It's best the same day because the dough. Look how nice and crisp this dough is.
It is beautiful.
You know,
It's really nice.
Very important. Very
Well,
important.
to wrap up, we want you to thank you for being here today. Join us next week when we do chocolate truffles. That'll be really great.
Ooh.
Thanks for coming, and bon appetit. Bye-bye.
Thank you. 35 minutes.